everybody, welcome to the Blue Corner. My name is Dennis, and it's time for my July 2021 collection update. But before we get into that, if you wouldn't mind, please hit the like button and maybe throw me a follow if you want to. Thanks. So yes, I'm going back and re-recording this video this way because I simply wasn't happy with the other versions I had, or the other version I had recorded. So I guess this is gonna be my background for now. So with that out of the way, let's just get into it. I have 28 titles to show you guys from July, and let's just start off with the Blu-rays. First, I picked up Mr. Nice Guy from America. This did come out before HMV put out their premium edition, whatever the line is called, in the UK. So sadly, no slipcover, no poster whatsoever or anything. But it is the same disc, so I'm not that bothered with it. But yeah, finally we have Mr. Nice Guy on Blu-ray, and it is the extended cut, or full cut, uncut version, whatever you want to call it. And it does say that on the cover too. So now we finally have Mr. Nice Guy. But Warner, where's Rumble in the Bronx and First Strike uncut? We need those Jackie Chan movies too. What we have now just isn't gonna cut it. But yeah, fun Jackie Chan US movie, I guess. I haven't always been too keen on those movies, but I like Mr. Nice Guy. So yeah. Then from Eureka, I picked up Millionaires Express. I already had the Hong Kong Blu-ray of this, but this was a no-brainer to upgrade. Fun summer Hong movie. You have pretty much anybody that's anything in this movie around this time, with the exception of Jackie Chan. But there's several versions of the movie in this edition, and it's just a fun, almost say Western comedy version. But yeah, I do really like this slipcover. I just don't like how they did it, because they made the slipcover big enough so that you can have the poster and the MRA case in the slipcover. But what if you put up the poster on the wall? Then it's not that bad on this edition, but there's other editions where the slipcover becomes just a tad bit too big. Then I would rather have the poster being a little bit smaller and being able to fit inside the MRA then. But yeah, great summer Hong movie. Then from Scream Factory, I picked up Pet Sematary 2. I already had the first one and the remake on 4K, so I decided that why not pick this one up too, just to complete the collection, I guess. Collector's OCD. Been many years since I've seen this one, and not a great movie. The first one is still the better one. But I do like having the collection now. And of course, now that I picked this one up, granted a little while later, they did put it out on Blu-ray here in Denmark. I don't know why, but there's been a bunch of movies that's been released on Blu-ray for the first time now here in Denmark. And how they choose what movie to release and when is mind-boggling sometimes. But yeah, Pet Sematary 2. Also from Scream Factory, I picked up Silver Bullet. I do believe this was a first time watch for me when I put this one on. I didn't remember it at all, so I'm going with first time watch. A good movie, but I'm still putting The Howling up as my number one werewolf movie. And yes, number one, just above American Werewolf in London. So, I like The Howling just a tad bit better. But this was a fun little werewolf movie that I wouldn't mind watching again. From Criterion, I picked up Deep Cover. I was rather surprised to see Criterion specifically put this one out. Doesn't seem like it would fit their catalog all that well, but they do seem to have been branching out a little bit. So I was glad we got this one. I don't have many Criterion titles. I don't collect Criterion titles, but this one was a, well, I'm not gonna say a no-brainer, but I was rather interested in this one. Again, much like Pet Sematary, I haven't seen this one in ages, and I remember the music video for this way more than the movie, so I was interested in going back to this one, and I did still enjoy it, and I'm glad I have it in the collection now, and I could actually see myself upgrading to 4K if they start doing more re-releases. Yeah, double dipping at its finest. But yeah, great movie. At the same time, and I would say to save on shipping, but I did want this one to, I didn't pick it up when it originally came out, but it had to be in the collection. That being The Irishman. Of course I gotta have this one. I love Goodfellas, I love Casino, so another gangster movie from Scorsese. I had to get it. It's a good movie. I do like the other two movies more, not just a tad bit more, quite a bit more, but that could be down to me having watched those movies way more than I've watched this. I originally saw this on Netflix, and I've seen this disc once, so I've seen the movie twice, and it's a good movie. Other two are just a tad bit better. So let's switch into 4K titles. Let's see, I have a little stack that's Danish 4K titles, and I'm picking those specifically because there's a little story behind them. I went to a flea market where there was a couple, I'm guessing older man and wife, and they had a bunch of movies, both DVD, Blu-ray, and 4K titles. They had 9 4K titles, and he was listing them at what would turn out to be around $3 a piece when you convert to dollars, and I was just, okay, why so cheap? And then I started talking to him, and he told me that, well, I'll show you the first one. Hotel Transylvania 3, the only 4K of this franchise to my knowledge, I think. But I'm not one I was really seeking out. But all 9 titles, $3 a piece, because none of them has the Blu-ray included. He couldn't really give me an answer, or it seemed like he didn't want to go into why the Blu-rays were missing, so I didn't press my luck. But $3 a piece, and he told me if I took all 9, I could get them for what would amount to around $10. So $10 for 9 4K titles. I don't need the Blu-rays, and granted, some of the titles are not ones I really would have picked up if I had to pick up the ones I wanted. So yeah, first up, Hotel Transylvania 3. Boss Baby. Yeah. Not one I would have picked up, but okay, it's in the collection now. Pineapple Express, fun movie. Haven't seen it in quite some time, so Still haven't seen it in quite some time, so there's way too many movies in my collection I haven't seen in some time now, and I keep piling on. Hancock. I did want this one, and yes, we don't go into what happened here, so ignore that. Hancock, fun, offbeat superhero movie. The Equalizer 2, great movie. Not as good as the first one, but I'm still there for the third one when that comes around. Amazing Washington is doing sequels now. He's not used to do that, but I love this franchise. The Dark Tower. Now, I've never read the book. I don't know much about this whole franchise, whatever you want to call it. And I saw this movie. Granted, it's not a great movie, but I don't hate it nearly as much as most people seem to do. So, yeah. Underworld, Blood Wars. Love the franchise. I don't know if I will say love. I like the franchise, but I don't like this movie. Bad movie. But I still want another Underworld movie, and hopefully we'll get it eventually. I do feel like we need a final movie to put the franchise to rest. So yeah, Underworld, Blood Wars. Sing. And we actually got a slipcover for this one. Not used to getting many of those. Sing, the first one, and I actually like this one. I thought it was a fun movie. I haven't seen the sequel yet, but maybe I'll get around to it eventually. But I have the first one, and I don't mind this being in the collection at all. And the one that was most important for me to get, Split, also with a slipcover. Universal do put out a few 4Ks in slipcovers, but not many. So yeah, but not that matters in this case. But I did want Split in the collection because I love that trilogy. So of course had to upgrade to 4K since I sold the Steelbook. So that was the Danish editions, $10 for those 9 4K titles. I had no problem whatsoever paying that. But for the US titles, I picked up Valerian, another title where I've sold the Steelbook, so I had to get the regular edition. And it's nowhere near as good as the Fifth Element, but I still enjoy this one. It's very colorful and it's just a fun movie to put on and enjoy. Ender's Game, another one that didn't do all that well, that I like. Again, not great movie, but I do like it, and another one where I could have used a sequel. Sadly, that's not gonna happen from the looks of it. Universal Soldier, great movie, one of my favorite Van Damme movies, so of course when I sold the Steelbook I had to get the regular edition. Talking about Split, we also have Glass, the final piece to the trilogy. Again, I like the movie, but as an ending, yeah, I was a bit let down by this. I don't really know what I would have hoped for, but yeah, I was let down. Jigsaw, more movies in the Saw franchise. The only Saw I have on 4K right now, so I don't have Spiral yet, hopefully soon. But Jigsaw, not as nasty as some of the other Saw movies, but there's still some cool kill scenes in this one. Rambo 4, whatever you want to call it. Now, we do have the other 4 in the franchise on 4K here in Denmark, but since this is a different company, we don't have this one, and probably never will have this on 4K. I guess that's just the way it's gonna be. So I picked up the US version, and great movie. Bloody as all hell. American Assassin, great movie. Take this one and The Accountant. Why don't those 2 movies have a sequel? Why does Bourne Identity have 5 movies and there's no sequel to either this or The Accountant? I know we're gonna get a sequel for The Accountant, but it's very slow going, if it ever is gonna happen. They need to up the schedule a little bit, I think. But yeah, great action movie, and a smaller role for Scott Adkins. Ex Machina, great movie. I had the steelbook for this one too, and sold that. Actually one of the better looking steelbooks I had, so I sometimes regret selling that a little bit, but I had to get the 4K, which wasn't in the steelbook. So yeah, great movie. Batman v Superman Ultimate Edition. We don't have the Ultimate Edition on 4K here in Denmark, so had to go to America for that one. Ten Cloverfield Lane, the best movie in that little trilogy. Great movie, and I don't like Cloverfield at all. The first one, not one bit, never did. Been ages since I've seen it, so maybe I do need to give it a second chance, but I really enjoyed this one. But then again, originally it wasn't supposed to be a Cloverfield movie, and I do like the third one too, Paradox or whatever the name is. Nowhere near as great as this one, but I'll still take Paradox over the original Cloverfield. Godzilla. Of course I had to get this when I have pretty much all the Monsterverse moves, I think. Sadly, I would have liked the Danish edition of this one, because I do have the other Monsterverse movies in 4K, where it's the Danish editions, and none of those have slipcovers. But the Danish, for whatever reason, the Danish edition of Godzilla was extremely expensive when that came out. I don't know why, so I caved and got the US version instead. And of course now the Danish version is in pretty much any 4K sale that goes live here and there. But I still enjoy the Monsterverse. Fun monster action. Just put on your TV and crank the volume and have a blast. From the UK, I picked up Looper. And yes, you'll see more about this in another video, pickup video coming later. But yeah, sadly, this one doesn't have either Dolby Atmos or Dolby Vision. But it's a great movie. Bruce Willis 4K, of course, it's going in the collection. And then finally, I picked up True Romance from Arrow 4K. And thankfully, I was able to get this via Savvy. I still can't order directly from Arrow without having to deal with import taxes and postal fees and whatnot. So thankfully, Savvy still or do ship to countries inside the EU where they add the import taxes right away. So I was lucky enough to get, I picked up the standard edition, and there's artwork. I don't collect steelbooks anymore, so yeah. And it's a great movie. Finally there's a proper edition for it, and a poster, probably this artwork and this artwork on each side, and a thick booklet that I haven't looked into yet. But great movie. And let's just put you in there again. So there you have it, my July 2021 collection update. And this is just the first of many upcoming videos. So again, be sure to hit the like button, give me a subscribe if you would, please. And until next time, peace out.